What's up? Hey guys. Hey everybody. People are coming in. If you've been on my lives the last couple days or last couple weeks, I usually have like a guest or a friend come in and talk stocks with me. But tonight, it's just you and me answering your stock questions. The 25th pattern is about to play out. I don't know what that means. What's the 25th pattern? I'm waiting. I don't know what the 25th pattern is. Is that a crypto thing? Pumps? Okay. For crypto or for stocks? I'm going to go crypto. Hey, Corduroy. Or Corduroy. I know your name. I'm just waiting for some people to show up. Just a theory, personal crypto. Okay. Tell me more about it, because I don't know what that is. Or is it something I can Google? The 25th pattern is about to play out for those of you who are just joining. Something to do with crypto. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to look at the stocks, or at the charts, at the charts for the crypto. That's interesting. I will. Hey, Tyson, what's up? I'm waiting for some people to come in and we'll start talking about stocks, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I just watched Army of the Dead on Netflix. Wait, you sold on the 18th? But if there's a pump coming, why would you sell? Ahead of time, I mean. I'm talking about crypto. We're talking about stocks for everyone who's just joined. Apparently, there's something called the 25th pattern. Anticipating dumps. Gotcha. Is crypto done? No. I think there's going to be regulations, which may or may not help. China seems to be back and forth on it. They want to create their own coin or cryptocurrency. Oh, it's just your personal theory. Okay. Well, I'll go check it out. I'm going to look at all the charts for the last 6 months and see what happens on the 25th. Is it any cryptos in particular that dump heavier than ever or pump heavier than, hey, Nara, what's up? No, I don't think cryptocurrency is done, for whoever asked. I think this will weed out some of the shit coins that people call them, I don't know which ones, and I don't know. Look, anytime there's when you look at these SPACs, that were really popular like a year or so ago, all these SPAC stocks, there were so many of them. It was like every week you would put on CNBC, there's another SPAC, another SPAC, another SPAC. This guy's getting in on the SPAC game. That guy, I think Shaq had one. Bill Ackman had, everyone in finance and everyone. At what age do you think you will retire? 40s, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever retire. I just want to find something that brings me purpose and brings me meaning that I like to do. But anyway, so these SPAC things, GPA, I wouldn't say you should be buying the dip as more as just doing something called dollar cost averaging with the coins or stocks that you like, just a little every month. And if there happen to be months where there's a humongous sell-off, like a huge unprecedented sell-off, then I would maybe consider buying a little more. So if you're putting $100 a month into Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano or whatever, and then there's a huge sell-off like what we've seen over the last week, where say Bitcoin goes from 60,000 all the way down to the 37s or 35s or whatever its low was, you might want to go a little heavier because that's unprecedented. That's a very unusual sell-off. So you could just swing in, and if you were doing 100 a month dollar cost averaging, you could grab 200 that month or a little bit more. It's a personal preference. I wouldn't, unless you have something that's incredibly risky, and this goes for stocks too, I wouldn't sell into panic. If you have really good quality cryptocurrency or really good quality stocks that you are investing in, not trading, but investing in, I wouldn't get rid of them. I would just hold. And if you're a swing trader or a day trader, it's a little bit of a different story at that point. You would want to cut any excess, anything that's high risk. You would want to cut if you thought that there was a recession or a big market sell-off coming. Otherwise, we're seeing a lot more of these big corrections, like these 1 to 3 day or week-long corrections, but we're not seeing sustained selling pressure like we used to see, where markets would just be in a slump for months, or there would be endless selling for months. It could just be the new normal. It could just be people. Bear with me for 1 second, because I had my phone plugged in and I'm kind of uncomfortable. I'm going to move this a little bit, and I'm going to prop up some pillows so I can be comfortable for this thing. Did you just hear my shoulder crack? That was crazy. All right, this is better. Are there any websites, apps that allow a beginner to practice before becoming a full-time investor? Yes. Paper trading. If you have TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim, you can use their paper trading. So you can trade with fake money. Here's the thing that I'll say about paper trading. Trade with as much money in the paper trading as you plan to trade with in real life. That way your expectations will be more realistic. So if you're trading with $1 million in paper trading, you're going to make an unbelievable amount of money, hopefully. Or you might lose a lot. But it's not realistic unless you're actually going to be trading with $1 million. So if you're going to be trading with $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, trade with that in your paper trading account. Also keep in mind that with paper trading, you have a little bit less skin in the game, so it might be easier with fake money to lose everything and go, who cares? That's why some people like paper trading, because it's not real money. And if they're on a very tight budget or they're very unsure of themselves, then it's a great way to fuck around and see what happens. If you are the type of person who thinks like, I got to have some real money in this to actually have some skin in the game because I don't want to lose anything, or because I don't want to get devastated, then put in a little bit, trade with real money, but just trade with a small amount. GPA, I have lost half the value of my Dogecoin, but I'm still not selling. Yeah, test patterns with paper trading. That's a great idea, which I'll expand on in a second. To GPA, I've lost half the value of my Dogecoin, but I'm still not selling. Same. I'm not selling, but the thing is with Dogecoin, I don't know how many of you have been following me for a while. I've been trading Dogecoin. I haven't been holding as an investor. So except for the most recent downturn, where I have I don't know if it's just a crypto term that everyone in crypto uses or if Wendio coined this phrase. So I just give her credit for it. Everyone go follow Sage Galaxy right there. She's new on TikTok, talking about stocks and crypto, and she knows her stuff. And if you are also a beginner, follow her. What index funds do I hold? I have the Vanguard Wellington Fund. I set up a robo account with Ameritrade, and they do a lot of that index fund stuff for me. One of them is called because I'm on my phone, I can't look. ITOT, I think, if someone is at a computer and wants to look and tell me if that's a broad market index fund. It's been doing very well. But so back to Dogecoin. I've been trading it. That's what I've been doing. And so with Dogecoin, I bought, it went up, I sold, it dropped, I bought it back, because that's what I do. I'm a stock trader, or a crypto trader, I guess in this case. It dropped, I bought more, it went up, I sold, and it kept going up and then dipping and going up and dipping. And every time it hit a new high or I got a little shaky and was unsure, I would sell. And you can, by the way, do the same technical analysis that I do on my stocks with crypto, which I really like. You've got Bollinger Bands, which you can have, and you've got the Relative Strength Index, which you can also have. You can have breakouts, you can have volume. I mean, you can have all the same stuff that I've done technical analysis videos on my YouTube channel for stocks, also apply for crypto. It is the iShares Total US Market. So I have that one through the Vanguard, I mean, not through Vanguard, through TD Ameritrade, and it's been doing very well. So the way I set up my robo account on TD Ameritrade, you can set it up based on risk tolerance, time, how much you want to hopefully make, and you can set your goals for, I think it's like 5, 10, 15, 20 years or whatever. And I set I set like a 20-year time frame with like the highest risk possible that you could do. And just for the hell of it, just to see how it does. Yeah, JK, Knoll, 12. At this point, all you can do is trade Doge. If you invest now as an entry, don't expect too much. Yeah, I mean, you know, nobody knows what's going to happen with Dogecoin. That's why I always say get out when you can. If you have profit, take it. If you have profit, take it. Just because you don't know what's going to happen. Look, we might find, and that's the reason that I've held on to a very small amount of my Dogecoin at this point. At this point, I'm just holding a little bit just to see what happens. And if it gets wiped out, it gets wiped out. No big deal. And if it goes to the moon, as people say, Sage, no, I don't. I think Elon Musk is sorry. No, I don't believe in Elon, but I think he's a pump and dumper, which is fine. I mean, if you're a stock trader, you want to be on the side of his tweets. So, you know, do I like him? Not really. But playing? What do you mean playing? Sage told me, what's the best trading software that can be paired with paper trading? I like TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. I think it's the best. And if you download the app on your phone, you can set up a paper trading account, so you don't have to put in real money. And I just think TD Ameritrade is the best in all other ways. As far as a brokerage goes, their tech support's amazing. Their apps are amazing. They answer the phone right away. They have live chat on Thinkorswim. They have a live chat where you can message someone and go like, how do I set up this thing? Plus, they've got a lot of education on their own. I mean, I know my whole YouTube channel is based off of like how to set up stuff on TD Ameritrade, but they have a lot of education on their own website that's really helpful. And it's endless. I mean, they go through every little category. But I wanted to go back up here because I don't know if Sage Galaxy is still in here, but someone commented, Sage sold me on the emotions post. Very true. Don't repress emotions, just act logically. Sage Galaxy, are you still in here? Because if you are, I'll just tell everyone to go to your page and watch the video. But if you are not, basically her video was saying, you know, you hear a lot of people say like, have no emotion in trading. Stop having, hey, password too long. Have no emotion when it comes to trading. Leave your emotion at the door. Don't worry about your emotions. And her whole point of the video on her page, Sage Galaxies, her whole point was that you shouldn't discredit your emotions, and it's kind of silly to say like just be emotionless. You can still have your emotions. It's still important to feel upset when you were wrong on a stock and feel what you're feeling. But you should also be able to say, okay, I'm upset, but I have to cut my losses, or I have to take my profits, or whatever. You don't necessarily want to just abandon all emotion. Is XRP a good crypto? I'm not in XRP. You know, if it's something that you're unsure about, you can go on, you can read about what their projects are and what they all do. The market is a mapping of emotions, fear and greed. Totally agree. Yeah, don't FOMO. Totally agree. But to XRP, if it's something you read their project and you agree with what they're talking about, and if you feel like it maybe has potential, you can. And this works for anything. This works for any stock. This works for any crypto. You can put in whatever you think is a reasonable amount that if you're unsure and you're shaky and you're not really sure, just put in a little bit, if nothing more than you're willing to lose. And then there's really no such thing as a bad investment if you're only putting in what you're willing to lose, if it's something risky. Yeah, they are in a lawsuit. I did hear about that. But look, I don't know. Because crypto is kind of new in terms of like, well, how has it performed in the past and all that stuff. Lawsuits normally aren't the worst thing when it comes to stocks, right? It's a short term. People have a reaction. Oh, they're being sued. Oh no, they dumped the stock, and then usually one of two things happens, right? The company either settles or you just ride it out, and they have their lawsuit. But what you'll notice is what normally happens when a lawsuit is over, whether the company is found innocent or guilty, is the stock goes up, because the way Wall Street acts and what Wall Street cares about is that it's behind. It's in the past now. It doesn't matter if they were found guilty. It doesn't matter if they owe billions and billions of dollars. It's old news now, and we can now move forward. And so that's usually what happens with stocks. With crypto, it's different because they're not getting sued all the time, like Boeing when a plane crashes, or Ford when there's a recall and people crash in an accident or whatever. Now I wanted to scroll up because someone had a good question. Hold on. What do you think about the future of Doge? Mr. Fox, I don't know if you're still in here. I think the future of Doge, some companies are accepting it now. I think it was something. I know Robinhood owns a lot. I know a lot of institutions own a lot, but I would wager that they're not owning more than it's going to like bankrupt them if it goes to zero. I think they're just in it now for the fun of it, and some companies are accepting it. Some sports teams are accepting it. I posted a video the other day saying AMC should partner with Dogecoin and start accepting Dogecoin at their theaters. I think that could be a fun dual crossover promotion. I wouldn't put too much. I think everyone who's saying what do you think the future of Dogecoin is are the people who bought into the hype, didn't cut their losses or didn't take their profits, and now they're sitting there going, shit, I really hope this is going to come back. And your guess is as good as mine. But I do have some Dogecoin, so I would like it to go up, but it's my moon bag, right? Like Wendy always talks about, it's my moon bag. It's nothing that is going to kill me either way, right? If it goes to zero, I've taken my profits out at this point. I've made a lot of money on Dogecoin, and I'm fine with just losing the rest if I am to lose it. Do you think the Wall Street bets got... Oh, shit. I lost your... Yo, Nick is in here. Yeah, you love your Shiba, don't you? Damn it. Hold on. I lost the comment. Do you think the Wall Street Bets guys used the average stock consumer to their advantage to pump up stocks? Yes, I do. And I think the hedge funds did too. I think we all got played with GameStop and AMC by the hedge funds. It was FOMO. It was pushing up this price higher and higher, and then what ended up happening with GameStop was you had all these people on Reddit saying, we got to hurt the hedge funds. But what they don't realize, or maybe they do realize and they just don't care or are naive, is that there are hundreds of hedge funds. There aren't 2 or 3 hedge funds. There's hundreds of hedge funds. And so 1 or 2 of them lost billions of dollars. Yay! But the rest of them were piggybacking off of what Wall Street Bets was doing, right? They went on, they saw what Wall Street, they saw what was happening. It was on the news every day. GameStop, AMC, GameStop, AMC. What do you think these hedge funds did? They piggybacked on it. These hedge funds piled into GameStop because you and I don't have the ability to move a stock, right? How many shares of GameStop did you buy? How many shares of AMC did you buy? 10, 100, maybe AMC, maybe 1,000 or 2,000? That's nothing. These companies have hundreds of millions of shares on the market. You and I can't do it. Even the collective you and I, hundreds of people, thousands of people, can't do what one hedge fund can do in one trade. And so, yeah, a couple of hedge funds were shorting it and they got crushed. But a lot more hedge funds piggybacked off this trade. And what we ended up seeing was that a lot of hedge funds were hiring these meme people to create these to the moon memes to release on social media. So we were getting played by everybody. And it doesn't, it's okay if you're getting played, if you're along for the ride and you're taking profits incrementally all the way up. Sure, fine, whatever. That's what momentum investing is. You look at a hot trend, and when we're talking about investing, one of the things that you hear a lot in the world of investing is don't look where everyone else is looking, because that's a stock that maybe is overvalued. Look for the hidden gems, the stocks that have low price to earnings ratios, the stocks that are the companies that are moving on the way up, that are new growth companies or new disruptors. But for momentum investing, it's kind of the opposite. For momentum investing, or momentum trading, I mean, for momentum trading, what you want to do is you want to look and see, where's everyone going? Where's everyone talking about? But you don't want to get in too late either. So when you're at the gym and everyone's standing around the water fountain talking about their GameStop, it might be too late to buy that stock. But when you're just starting to hear like whispers of all these people are starting to talk about these stocks or whatever, and you look at the chart and you're noticing that over the course of several days, 4,000 of them, Connor, are you talking about hedge funds? Yeah. Nice to meet you too, Mikey. I'm sure you're gone already because I just saw your comment. Shiba is the only green one on your list. If it's the only green one on your list, then it's the only green one on Nick's too, who might not still be in here. But he texted me the other day. Nick's a friend of mine. And he texted me a screenshot of his Shiba purchase and was like, best $140 ever spent. Trading news and hype are the real strategies, but you move quick and you need to take profits and be secure. Yes, 100% to that comment. That's the gist of momentum investing. That's momentum investing. You trade the news, you trade the hype, and then you get out. You have to get out. You know, all these people are going, oh, GameStop is going to the moon, AMC is going to the moon. When you look at it, it was a $40 stock. Even prior, it was $20. It already went to the moon when it hit 90. It already went to the moon when it hit 200, and it just kept going. At a certain point, yeah, GPA, that's why you sold all your AMC when it got to 1412. I'm curious if you're talking about AMC getting to 1412 last week or AMC getting to 1412 during the GameStop thing. Because I've been in and out of AMC trading it a lot. Did you see the viral TikTok where they took out a bank loan to buy crypto? Yeah, I saw stuff. Yeah, settle for a Cessna taking flight. Exactly. I should write that down. I gotta find my paper. Don't go anywhere. I just gotta write that down really quick. I'll give you credit, password. I'm writing it down. Don't bank on the moon. Settle for a Cessna taking flight. And I'm even going to put your little name. Password too long. So I can give you credit when I make a TikTok and I use your thing. Yeah, last week, me too. I sold my AMC, so I've been in and out of AMC, and I'm holding a position like, you know, like Wendy O always says for crypto is a moon bag. In stocks, you know, we don't have the term moon bag isn't the stock thing. In stocks, we just say playing with the house is money. Pablo is live. He predicted the Bitcoin crash. Yeah. Yeah, he did. I watched all those videos. And he was spot on. It makes me nervous when people take out loans. I can't believe they got a loan from a bank, though, to buy crypto. That seems... Yeah, so, JK, the whole reason that I bought AMC... Exactly. Yeah, the whole reason that I bought AMC when COVID first started was they were closing down theaters. They were thinking, oh, should we close down businesses? Should we close down schools and stuff like that? And when they started talking about the theaters, AMC was like $3 or something. And I was like, I'm just going to buy a bunch right here at $3. If it goes a little lower, who cares? Because I've got a price target. You can never time the bottom. And anyone who comes out and says you can time the bottom, I don't know. But you don't really, you know, my thought for AMC was I'm going to get AMC at around $3. If it drops to $2, maybe I'll buy a little more. I'm just holding it. Fifth Intercoastal Space. I have videos on my YouTube channel. If you haven't watched on how to read and interpret a balance sheet, it's on my playlist. The playlist is like the very first one that you see when you go on my YouTube channel. it says like click here if you're new to investing or whatever, and it probably is like in the first 10, like step 1, step 2. It's probably somewhere in there on how to read a balance sheet. But back to JK Knoll 12. My price target, you're welcome. My price target for AMC was about $20. So I bought it at $3 a share. And I thought, I'm going to hold AMC for a year, maybe even 2. Nobody knew at the beginning of COVID what was going to end up happening. Nobody knew everything was going to be closed down for months and months and months. Some people kind of thought it was just going to blow over and not be a big deal. I didn't know. So I had a long-term price target. When I bought AMC, I bought with a long-term goal of the stock getting to $20 a share. That was my price target for AMC. Clark, I'm going to answer your question, or I'm going to try to. But when the GameStop thing happened, AMC shoots up to $20 within like a couple days. So what do you think I did, right? Because I'm always on here talking about you stick to your plan. I stuck to my plan. It hit 20. I sold. I didn't sell everything though, because I was looking at AMC and I was looking at GameStop. I was looking at the short interest and I was thinking this thing could still go, right? Because look at what happened to GameStop. It's 20, it's 40, it's 70, it's 90. And then it just kept going. So my thought process was, look, something weird is going on here. I don't know what it is. I'm going to take my profits because I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to take some of my profits and I'm going to YOLO the rest. I'm going to let the other half ride and we'll just see what happens. It ended up coming back down, so I sold on the way down a little, still up, because remember, I bought it at 3. When it leveled out somewhere around $9, that's when I started buying back into AMC. And then I just kind of am holding it now. I sold some Relatable Shrimp. I think I've seen your... Didn't you? Yep, I recognize your photo. I don't remember what you posted, but you commented on one of my videos. I can't remember which one now, but I remember that name. I'm curious how the government will handle these dips and crypto being exempt from the watch sale rules. The government really doesn't like people avoiding taxes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they know. I don't think anyone knows what to do with this whole crypto world, how it's going to be taxed. I don't really understand it. I didn't sell any of my crypto last year, so when I went to file my taxes, it popped up and said, have you sold any crypto in the last year? And I said, no, because I hadn't. Then in 2021, so just starting from January, that's when I started trading Dogecoin, making a fuck ton of money on it. And I'm thinking, what's going to happen next year when it's time for me to... Oh, he did? I don't know. Ever since Trump lost, I haven't really been watching much news. Just let it happen, whatever happens. Relatable Shrimp, I'm getting into Thinkorswim. Nice. Registered and I'm waiting for your personals to get verified. Congratulations. So if you go on my YouTube channel and click around on that, click here if you're new playlist that I have. There's a lot of stuff to help you set up your charts. If you need help or if you want help learning how to set up the charts the same way I have them, I've got tutorials on my YouTube channel to walk you through how to set up Bollinger Bands, how to set up relative strength, how to set up MACD, which actually I just did a video on TikTok on the MACD the other day. And I haven't uploaded it to YouTube, or maybe I did, but I forgot. I'm going to write that down on my notes as well. That's why I got to keep this paper here when I go live. Upload MACD video to YouTube. You need help? Check out my YouTube channel. There's a ton of tutorials there that'll get you started. It won't only show you how to set up your Thinkorswim charts, but it'll explain in other videos what all those things mean, like Bollinger Bands and stuff. Do you know anything about the FEG token? Is it a pump and dump or a good project? I don't. What does it mean when a crypto trader gets liquidated or just liquidates? So I don't know. I'm just going to assume liquidating means the same thing in crypto that it does in stocks. So if someone knows that it means something different, let me know in the comments. But liquidating a position just means you sell everything. So if you have 1,000 shares of AMC and you liquidate your entire position, you've sold half of it. Hey, TLA, Happy birthday. Thank you. My birthday was yesterday, right? What day is it today? Yeah, Friday. Friday was yesterday. I don't even know what the days are anymore. Any thoughts on NIO? No. I mean, look, we were so oversaturated with the electric vehicle SPAC boom from a couple of months ago. Every other week there was a new SPAC. Every other week, you put on the news and they would go, oh, there's a new SPAC and it's an electric vehicle. And then you'd put on the news a week later and, oh, there's another new SPAC and it's an electric vehicle. And I was sitting there thinking, like, sooner or later, these electric vehicle stock SPACs are going to hit a bubble and they're just going to be done. And that's kind of what happened. There's a lot of interesting projects. There's a lot of publicly traded companies now that are electric vehicles. And there's a lot of like big powerhouse companies like Ford that just rolled out the new F-150 Lightning, which looks pretty sick, and can also power your house for 3 days if there's a power outage, which I think is really cool. I would assume that means you always have to keep your F-150 fully charged, because if there's a power outage and your truck is not charged, then you're kind of screwed. But if you have, I would imagine, a full charge, that's pretty sick. Talking about a margin call. Yeah, if you have a margin call, so basically what can happen is if you don't have enough money in your account to cover your loss, but you do own stock in, say, Apple, your brokerage doesn't even need your permission. It's in their fine print. They don't even need your permission. They just go in and sell your stock. Now, they won't just do it. They'll give you a warning. Hey, you owe us $2,000. Hey, you owe us $2,000. Knock, knock. Hey, last reminder, you owe us $2,000. And if you still can't get that money to them, then they can go in, they can sell your shares. And they don't have to tell you that they've done it. Jojo, yes, I do. So Ford has a lot of really cool projects right now. They have the new Bronco, which if you follow me, you know I love. I have a Bronco. I have an old one. It's a 1985 Ford Bronco, which happens to be the same year as me. But to tie in to your question, Jojo, about electric vehicles and Ford, and the previous question about NIO, there's a lot of electric vehicles. Doesn't mean that these companies are going to go belly up. But what's going to end up happening, I saw you asking about Silvergate again. I have no thoughts because I'm not familiar with it, but if you want to go on one of my, actually, I'll just write it down. But if you want to go on one of my older video or my newer videos and just comment that same question so I know to respond to you, I will. Silvergate. I've never even heard of it. But so what's going to end up happening with these electric vehicles is a lot of these companies are going to cease to exist, right? It's the same with these cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of shit coins that are just going to get weeded out and they're going to stop existing. What's going to end up happening is with these electric vehicles is they're going to get merged. They're going to merge. They're going to get bought out. They're going to get taken over by larger companies. Ford has one now, an electric vehicle. There's even rumors, which I'm super excited about, of the new Bronco being electric vehicle in the next couple of years. I saw, Bitcoin Cash. I have no thoughts on it because I'm not really familiar with it. But I would send all your crypto questions to Crypto Wendio. And thank you for the birthday wishes. Wait, let me hold up. Ogster, we should talk. You have an order in for the new Bronco Black Diamond. Nice. So the problem, I don't know, Jojo, if you're still in here, the problem that Ford is running into right now is this whole chip shortage. So they had to delay their Bronco release. They had to delay some other stuff. So I had a reservation for a Bronco as well. And then they called me in March and they said, do you want to hold your reservation, Ford? And I said, yeah. And they said, okay, it's going to be $2,500. And I was like, whoa, hold up. I thought it was $100. And they said, no, that was just to make the reservation. Now that we're rolling these out and we're starting production, now you need to buy the Bronco, and this is the $2,500 down payment. And I was like, no, I'm not. Can I get that $2,500 back? And they go, nope. And I go, I'm not putting $2,500 into something that I haven't even seen and I haven't test driven yet. So I'm out, and I'll get that Bronco at a later point down the road. Not to mention, I already have a Bronco. I have a 1985 Ford Bronco. So part of me thinks I'm not even going to buy the new one, and at least not now. Maybe I'll wait for a little bit and get the electric vehicle when they roll out the electric Bronco. But I am super excited. Yes, Teebs, hello, you're in here also. Jojo, Mustang Mach-E. I just saw one of them on the street today. I pulled up next to it in the Bronco. That Mustang Mach-E looks awesome. And I think it does better than Tesla, right? I saw some study that it does even better than Tesla's, higher mileage, whatever. It looks really cool. So back to the electric vehicles. A lot of these are going to stop existing. So I don't know which ones, Neo or Lucid, I don't know which ones are going to pave the way and be standalone companies 10 or 15 years from now. And I don't know which ones are going to get taken over by General Motors or Honda or Toyota. And which ones will just go belly up. Nobody really knows. Yeah, Michael Burry. Giants, I don't know if you're still in here. We were just talking about Lucid, CCIV. You know, the thing about it is, if you're unsure and you like the electric vehicle space, you can kind of create your own ETF and buy a little of each and just hold and hope for the best. I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, hoping that you're picking the right one, because that seems really risky. But if it's a company you like and you believe in, you can obviously put a little bit in. I'm interested in how these electric vehicle sales will affect Tesla, since like their only profit is the EV credit. Yeah, I would imagine that other companies now getting into the space will start eating Tesla's lunch, because Tesla is just electric vehicles, right? And they have their solar panel thing too. But Ford has a lot of other stuff going on. Ford has their electric vehicle. Ford has the upcoming, they have the Mach-E. They have the upcoming F-150 Lightning, which looks really cool. They have the new Bronco, which is going to do very well. They have a chip shortage, which is a short-term problem, but also a great buying opportunity if you like the company. Also keep in mind that Ford has streamlined their production. So Ford isn't making tons and tons and tons of cars anymore. They've got it really streamlined. I mean, it's almost like they've embraced minimalism, and they've got their bread and butter. They know that they're trucks, they know that they're SUVs, and they know that they are the Mustang. And that's Ford. They don't have the Taurus anymore. They don't have the little hatchbacks. They don't have as many of those anymore. And Ford also used to have a really good dividend a long time ago. They cut it. I don't even think they have one anymore. But if sales start to do very well long term, they will definitely add back that dividend at some point. Let me read some of these comments. Hi, Jojo, you're still here. I don't know if anyone else has done these lives on TikTok, but like, it'll say like 4 new comments, 5 new comments, and then I scroll down to the bottom and there aren't any. Oh, here, now they show up. I think it's like Netflix versus the other online video. Yes. Speaking of Netflix, I blew what off the line? Jojo, you're welcome. Speaking of Netflix, I just watched earlier tonight Army of the Dead. Whoa. I don't own Netflix stock. Not that that has anything to do with that movie. But that movie was really good. Batista's new movie, the zombie thing on Netflix, Army of the Dead. Really liked it. How well do electric vehicles do being unplugged for, say, a week when you go camping? I don't know. But I do know that there is a place near me in Washington, D.C. called Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. And they have like this, I think it's called like the Berkeley Spring Lodge or something. It's this huge hotel. It's not very fancy. The restaurant there I've heard is terrible. But they have cabins, they have hotels, they have camping, they have all kinds of stuff. And they have 5 electric vehicle charging stations set up on their hotel at least 2 years ago, which was the last time that I was there. Excuse me, I'm talking. I need something to drink. See, it said I had 6 new comments. Then I scroll down. All I see is Scott's Busy joined. Hi, Scott. Can I recommend? No, because I'm not a licensed broker or financial advisor. I don't recommend stocks. What do you get days later? The dumb one? I live in the boonies. I get you days later. You're lucky? What do I get? Oh, a Tesla goes 12 days? That's pretty good. Is that Army of Darkness way better? I haven't. Hey, Alex, what's up? I haven't watched Army of Darkness. Or have I? I'm sure I have. But if you haven't watched Army of the Dead on Netflix yet, you gotta watch it. It was really good. Plus, I'm a big Batista fan. User Adrian99, can you recommend 3 dividend stocks? So I was saying, but I got distracted. I don't recommend stocks because I'm not a licensed broker. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't. Not only can't I wouldn't want to because I don't want to be responsible for your investments. Also, I don't know your personal financial situation or your goals or blah, blah. Here's what I would say to you, asking for 3 good dividend paying stocks. Google top 10 or top 5 or best or safest, whatever adjectives you want to use, dividend stocks. And then get a piece of paper and a pen and read multiple articles. Read them all. Even the ones from the bullshit websites that you don't really like Motley Fool. I don't think they're so great, but I'm sure they have good articles on dividends and they'll explain why they have chosen them. Read them, write them all down. Go to Forbes, read them, write them all down. Go to Kiplinger, which is one that I really trust and I really like. Write them all down. Go on Investopedia. I'm sure they have articles too. Read them, write them all down. And then look over your list and see which dividend-paying stocks are on every list from every website. There's going to be overlap, right? If you type in like best tech stocks, Apple's going to be on every list, right? So you want to look for something like that. You also, if you're just hunting, you can do screeners. On TD Ameritrade, you can do a screener for, say, show me stocks under $20 a share that pay 5% dividend and have, 5-star analyst ratings, or you can set up your screener however you want. You don't want your dividends to be too high. That can be suspicious. It can be a sign that the company's in trouble and they're trying to lure investors in. Kay Clark, you're watching it now, go leave my live, go watch it. It was really good, and then comment and tell me what you thought because I really liked it. And the music was kind of like weird in a fun way. You have a good chunk of tea, but it's about to get cut in half. AT&T has a great dividend. Why is it going to get cut in half? You mean the stock or your position? Get the messages. What do you do? What do you mean, what do I do? To find your stocks, we're looking for shortcuts since you don't want to tell us. I don't want to tell you because I don't know your financial situation. I'm not allowed to. It's illegal. I can't say, yes, go buy AT&T. I mean, I can rattle off some companies that pay dividends, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're good dividends or they're stocks you personally should be investing in. And I don't want DMs from someone going, hey, I bought AT&T because you recommended it and it went down and I had to take a loss and it's your fault. I don't want to have to deal with that. Even though it is ultimately your decision to buy the stuff, I just don't want to get my DMs flooded with angry messages about, hey, what do I do now? I bought it and whatever. All I'll say about dividends is make sure you reinvest them. Because that's how you build wealth. Hey, No Chill Penguin. Agreed. I had pages of my mini notebook filled with dividend stocks and info before I even invested. Smart. AT&T announced that they're changing their dividend program? Is it a good change or a bad change? because I don't really pay attention to AT&T, so I don't know what they're doing, but their dividend was pretty sweet. And I'm not on my computer, so I can't look, but I will write it down on my notes. I'm back. AT&T dividend? Question mark? Oh, really? A massive dividend cut? That's not good. See? To the guy who was asking, why don't you recommend stocks? That's why. I don't recommend stocks because I don't want to babysit for each person. Oh, wait, I told this guy to buy AT&T and I recommended this to that person, and now AT&T's cutting their dividend. I better go warn everyone who listened to my recommendation. The whole point of my channel is to teach you how to do this stuff yourself, so you don't have to come on someone's live and go, what should I buy? What should I buy? You're going to know if you follow my TikTok videos, if you watch my YouTube stuff, if you read the books that I recommend in my Linktree, you're going to know how to do your own shit yourself. You're not going to have to rely on someone. Everyone likes to talk about that whole give a man a fish and teach a man to fish. But when it comes down to it, most people are lazy and they're just like, you tell me. Any option strategies you like? No, because I don't trade options. I lose on options all the time. They're just not my thing, which is okay, right? I'm good at stock trading. I'm good at swing trading. I'm okay at day trading. Hey, El Boberto. El Boberto, I just ordered from Papa John's the other night. I know that guy is a piece of shit, but they have stuffed crust pizza, and they're the only one in DC that has stuffed crust pizza, and I like stuffed crust pizza, so I ordered from Papa John's. Yeah, give them a fishing pole. Learn how to do your own shit. Yes, password too long. There is a fundamentals video on my YouTube channel. It's a much slower process for sure, and the YouTube channel is really there for the people who really want to learn how to do this stuff. TikTok is fun, but the videos are like 60 seconds. And then people get all pissy when you leave like one little thing out. They're like, well, you didn't mention, well, I got 60 seconds, dude. You try fitting everything in the world of fundamental analysis into 60 seconds. You can't do it. So for the people who are interested in my YouTube channel, like BLK, this guy, BLK, has watched every single one of my YouTube videos, because he really wants to learn, and he'll follow up with questions. I have a question about something, blah, blah, blah. Splits shouldn't matter, but I've seen splits skyrocket. Yeah, there's a lot more splits lately. This happens when a stock has like a huge run up in price. It's just to get it more affordable for the average guy, so they feel like they're getting more for their money, right? If you buy one share of Amazon at $3,000 or 10 shares of Amazon at $300, you're still spending $3,000. You're just getting 10 shares instead of one share. It's just a good story. Hold on, I had a really good question up here from GPA. I gotta find it. GPA 104, how long have you been a trader? 11 years. I've been swing trading for 11 years, and then day trading in those 11 years, the last 4. The markets were just too volatile over the last 4 years. And I didn't feel comfortable swing trading. Look, and I'm only using presidents as a point of reference in time. Obama, during his presidency, the first term, markets went crazy, unbelievable. But I wasn't trading at that time. I was investing only a little bit because I was still unsure of myself, because it was 2008. So I was like in my early 20s back then. And I was like, oh, this feels like a good opportunity to invest, but I'm just not confident enough to. And so I didn't do as much investing. The first 4 years of Obama's presidency, markets were on fire. Really good for investing and swing trading. His second term, still great, not as good. That's when I started. And I did very well. And I was like, wow, I'm like the greatest stock trader ever, which is what we're seeing a lot of new traders saying about themselves today. Newsflash, Buster, you're not so great. You're just lucky that you're starting during a period where the markets are doing very well. The last 4 years, everything kind of changed. The markets during Trump's presidency, because of coronavirus, because of his tweets, because of whatever was going on with the economy, because of COVID, the markets were very unsure. Markets don't like uncertainty. And with COVID, are we shutting down or are we not shutting down? Are people dying or are they not dying? What is it? What's going on here? Are we shutting down the borders? Are we shutting down travel? There were too many unknowns. I don't like to swing trade in periods of uncertainty. It wasn't a bear market. It was just very volatile. Volatility isn't good for swing trading because you can get caught in a trade for a long period of time. If it rockets and then, we're chasing the momentum, we get in where we think it's going to go higher and then it drops because of a tweet or because of a virus or because of the economy or the jobs numbers, and then it tanks, now you're stuck holding. So I was watching, and I was a swing trader, and I'm watching and I'm getting stuck in these positions and I'm going, I got to change something here. And so I switched over because I'm watching it and I'm going like, market's up, market's down, market's up, market's down. Day trading. And so that's when I started day trading. Not the first year of Trump's presidency, I didn't do much trading in general because my mom was sick and there was a lot going on. My grandma was sick. So I didn't trade much that year. 2016 was one of the worst years I've ever had as a trader. Not because of anything happening in the markets, but it was all personal stuff. And my mom is fine, by the way, today. But when the markets started getting pretty volatile, I didn't want to day trade. Hey, AJ, thank you for all the fire and presents. I just didn't feel comfortable holding these stocks, these swing trades, if it was up, down, up, down. Thank you so much for the presents. Yesterday was my birthday, for people who don't know, so I appreciate it. So that's when I started day trading. And I did very, very well as a day trader. I don't have a lot of experience as a day trader, or at least hey, GPA, thank you for all your really good questions. And thank you for the birthday wishes. And thank you for the bag of money. Yes, No Chill Penguin, I am also okay, happy to see that my mom is okay. But then I started day trading. Because the markets were just too volatile and I didn't want to be stuck. Wow, all the presents, dude. Thank you. I didn't want to be stuck in anything. So I switched over to day trading, which worked out very well. But this is one of the things I talk about a lot is you have to have multiple strategies as a trader. You can't just have one method or one strategy because markets are always changing. There's going to be bear markets. There's going to be bull markets. There's going to be periods of stagnation. There's going to be periods of low growth or slow growth or tons of growth. And or there's going to be a war or a banking crisis or a coronavirus. And you have to be able to adapt as a trader. The last thing you want to do as a stock trader is only have your one method. Because when the markets change, what are you going to do? If you only know this one type of trading strategy and it all of a sudden no longer works, like for me, swing trading until Trump, and then, and then everything was volatile because of COVID, because of the economy, because of travel and stuff like that, then what do? You have to day trade. What if you don't know how to day trade? What if you're not comfortable with day trading? Then what are you going to do? Especially if you're like me, where stock trading is your only source of income, what are you going to do? You're going to sit on the sidelines panicking. SAG, tech is a super bear right now, but lots of good opportunities to be found as well. Which is kind of like if you are do you ever use Thinkorswim chat rooms? No, I don't. No reason. I just never have. Do you use mainly technical analysis for day trading? Yes, and for swing trading. And I also use technical analysis for investing as well because, look, it doesn't matter what the price is of the stock if it's something you really want to own. If you really want to own stock in something and you have a very long-term time frame, it doesn't matter what the stock price is because your hope is that it's going to go up over the next 10 or 15 or 20 years. However, I still want to get the best price. So if I go to the grocery store and a bag of Doritos is $6, I'm not going to buy them. I'm going to wait. Even though I want those Doritos, I'm going to wait for a sale. Now they have a sale, buy one, get one free. That's when I'm getting my Doritos. I have that same approach for my investments as well as my trades. Sorry, there's a note on my... Someone was texting me. I have that same method for my investments. I want to get a good deal. I want to get the best price that I can. So if I'm eyeing a stock, I really like it, I really want to own it, I will look at technical analysis and I'll say, like, I'll plot out support and resistance lines, which if you don't know how to do, hop on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to plot out my support and resistance lines on a stock that I want to invest in, so I can look to see if we're overextended, if we're overbought right now, if there's going to be a sell-off coming, or if we've been oversold for a while and there's a potential for a breakout, then I'll buy. If I look at the chart and I go, hey, I notice a stock that I want to invest in at $20 a share is in overbought territory on the relative strength index. It might be having a pullback for a variety of reasons. Maybe their competitor had earnings and it wasn't good. That's good for me, right? Because when the competitor has bad earnings, maybe everyone else in that sector will too. And if it's a company I want to hold long term, I'm going to seize on that opportunity that they had bad earnings to go swoop in and buy. So if company over here had bad earnings and this stock is overbought and is having earnings coming out soon and people are kind of nervous, I'm going to wait till that earnings report comes out, because I'm hoping, right? It's a guess. I'm hoping that their earnings are going to be bad. If I'm wrong and their earnings are good, shit, I have to pay a little higher than I wanted to, but I want to invest anyway. If I'm right and there's a big sell-off, I look at the support and the resistance lines and I say, okay, we're about 20 here, and our last level of support was 1750. That's my price target. If they have bad earnings, it can drop to 1750. I can get it. If it's really bad earnings, maybe I get lucky. I get it at 16. Who knows? But so, yeah, I use technical analysis for everything. Moo Bin Raz, what do you think of Shiba Inu? I have no idea long term what's going to happen with this thing. If you want to buy a little just for funsies, go for it. But I don't know. I mean, I would say to you, what are your hopes long term with Shibu? Is it just a joke? Is it something that you are trading? Is it something that you're trading very quickly because you want to make a little bit of money? If that's the case, then I would make your money and get out and then hold a little. It's called a moon bag. Just hold a little and see what happens. If you don't want to make a quick trade and you're only in what you're willing to lose, hold the whole thing and, we'll YOLO it and see what happens. How much do social media pumpamentals go into your day trading decision? I have never heard pumpamentals, and I don't want to ever hear that word again. I've never heard pumpamentals before, but I'm going to not be able to sleep tonight now that I've heard that word. It definitely plays a part. And I think people are going to be really surprised with how I answer this based on what I've seen a lot of other traders talk about, where they say, I wouldn't go near GameStop. I wouldn't go near AMC. I wouldn't go near Dogecoin. Why not? Why? Yeah, thanks. We're momentum investors. When you're looking on social media and you're seeing all this hype, it can be it's the smallest of the determining factors. I don't go on stock twits, for example, and scroll through all the comments and be like, wow, a lot of strangers on the internet really like the stock. I should buy it. But money is money. And if all the technical analysis is there first, these pumpamentals that you have now put in my head play a factor, right? It's a small factor, because what a bunch of strangers on the internet say doesn't really mean anything to me in terms of, 1,000 people on StockTwits really like it, I must buy it. But it just it's just one more confirmation, which is really what technical analysis is. You've got your Bollinger Bands. They confirm a breakout. You've got relative strength, which says that the stock has been oversold and might now be rebounding. You've got descending wedge, where it's going to break out of that descending wedge pattern. That's good too. And you've got the people of the internet are going bananas over the stock. It's just one more bit of technical analysis, in a way, that I consider. JTD, exactly, money is money and it's all about entry and exit. I agree. And a balanced position size. I also agree. Bear, cat, Don. Is that like man, bear, pig? But bear, cat, Don? I'm thinking of starting a position in Airbnb. Any thoughts? I own Airbnb. That's not a reason for you to go out and buy it just because I own it. I like Airbnb for the same reason that I like AMC. No Chill Penguin, you're welcome. Of course, now as soon as I'm done talking, I forgot what I was even talking about. Oh, the Pumpamentals. I'm starting a position in Airbnb. Yeah, okay, so Airbnb, the same reason that I got into Airbnb is the same reason that I got into AMC, which is COVID recovery. What has everyone in the world not been able to shut up about since COVID started? I can't wait to go somewhere. I want to go somewhere. Where are you going to stay? You know, you might stay at a you can play Tetris on Thinkorswim. Can you play it with other people? This is going on the notes. Tetris on Thinkorswim. I didn't know that. I was really good at Tetris in the 90s, though, on a real Game Boy. Everyone wants to travel, right? Everyone wants to travel. Some people are going to stay in a Marriott. Some people are going to stay at a Days Inn. And some people are going to stay in Airbnbs. Some people are going to get all their friends together that have been vaccinated and are ready to go somewhere. And they're going to drive to the beach. And they're going to get an Airbnb. It's going to be a big fucking house. And they're going to split it 10 ways because there's 10 people. And my mom is in the Outer Banks this weekend with a friend. They got this house. It's just the two of them. And they got this huge house. But, you know, you could easily grab 10 friends or 5 friends and split the cost of a summer rental and go to an Airbnb. And people are going to be super jazzed up to travel now because COVID is ending and everyone's vaccinated and whatever. So Airbnb, I like. I'm not familiar too much with their fundamentals and their growth, but they're still a relatively new company. So it shouldn't concern you if you go on and you see a lot of debt, for example, because they're a growing company and growing companies need debt. What should concern you is the potential of an interest rate hike, because interest rate hikes make it harder to get cheap money for new companies so that they can expand and grow. What are friends? I don't really know. I think they're people who bug you. Yeah, thinking the same thing. It's a TV show. Remember Friends? That's what Friends are. Hey, LGNYC, what's up? Actually, the only person who's not in here, who should be in here, is Anu. Where's Anu? She's the other New York buddy. Anu. Let me try to find her and add her. Oh, I don't know her username. Oh well, she's missing out. Pivot. Figs IPO? What is that? I'm not familiar with it. But I'm going to write it down. I got my little list here. And I'm going to write your name down too. LGNYC Figs IPO. And I will look at it. What's Figs? Pivot, and they make medical clothing. Araz, what do you think of Neo? I talked about Neo earlier. I take these lives and I put them on YouTube. So I'm not going to, everyone else who's been in here for a while, I'm not going to repeat the whole thing on Neo. But you can go and find it. I'll post it. It'll probably be up on my YouTube channel tomorrow. They make medical clothing. I mean, that's it. Why is a company like that going public and not being acquired by Johnson & Johnson? Medical clothing? I'm not impressed. Thoughts on XL? What's XL? Where'd all the comments go? Futures are just bets on the future. I'll do a YouTube video on futures. I'm gonna add that to the list too. Futures just show how much buying and selling and volume is coming into a stock pre-market sometimes. Like you can check the futures the nighttime, like at night. You can go on CNN Money and type in like futures and get a glance at like markets are down because of all the selling or all the buy orders that are coming in. Markets are up. Changes. But you can also, futures are also stuff like pork, you know. Farmers will sell their cattle at a certain price long term, and they'll lock in their prices for an extended period of time, whether it's wheat or grain or cattle. That's really how futures got started, but I'll go more into it later on a YouTube video. And I lost all the comments. Oh, here they are. I think XL does something with hybrid cars. I don't know. We're all comments. Because I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Oh, SAG. XL is a company that is taking gas engines and converting them to partial electric vehicles. Cool. Can I put one of those in my Bronco? Because that would be great. Because that Bronco gets 9 miles to the gallon, and I don't like that. XL converting to EV. Partially. Man, my notes are filling up. Do you console game at all? Yes, I have a PlayStation 4. I'm not a big gamer. I bought a PlayStation a couple years ago, and I loved Uncharted. It's my favorite game. Hellblade was great. God of War was great. Last of Us. Oh, Last of Us and Last of Us 1 and 2 and all the Uncharted games are tied for me. I love those games. I just finished all of the BioShock games. I really liked them. And I'm playing one called Prey, which a friend told me to get, and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. But I feel like I'm just at the beginning, so it might pick up. Those are the games that I play. Ah, hey, 23. Be like Mike. Do you keep... Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'm not really a gamer. I can go like 6 months without playing any video games. But then I'll get one and I'll love it and I'll play it, like I'll kill it. I'll play it so fast and then it's over and then I don't play anything for 6 months. But yeah, I guess I am a gamer. Who knew? Let me read 23 Be Like Mike. Do you keep trading account relatively the same amount or scale in with profits or move long term? I do a couple of things. My trading account, it depends on the price of the stock. So if the stock is under, say, $5, I'm getting anywhere from 1 to 3,000 shares, depending. If it's over that, if it's up to $10, usually 5 to 10, I'm getting maybe 1,000 shares, or more realistically, 3 to 5 to 700, depending. Anything 10 to 20, I'm getting a couple hundred. Anything over 20, usually I'm getting 1 to 200, up to like maybe $50. Anything that's over $50 a share, 100 shares is $5,000. So usually I'm getting 100 shares of anything over 50. And if it's a very volatile stock, I can buy a $50 stock that I know bounces between a trading range of, say, 50 and 53, 50 and 53, 50 and 53. So every time it hits 50, I come in and I buy 100 shares. I hold it, whether it takes a couple days or a couple weeks, till it gets to around 53, whether that's 52.90 or 52.75, right? I'm not literal. I'm not one of those literal traders where I go, it has to be 53, and it has to be 50 for me to buy. If the charts are indicating that it's kind of getting to the bottom and it's at $50.37, I'm not going to wait for it to get to 50. I'm going to miss out on an opportunity over $37. I don't think so. I buy it at $50.37. But just for the sake of easy math, I buy at 50, I sell at 53, I make $300, and I can do that with 100 shares or $5,000. And then anything over that, 10, 15, 25 shares, unless we're getting up into the big stuff like Amazon's, Tesla's, I'm buying 1 share. And then what I do is, I'll then use my profits a couple different ways. One of the ways is I'll buy larger positions going forward, especially if I have a really good, couple of months. I'll start. My friend had this great analogy once a long time ago when I just started trading and I was getting kind of confident and I was like, I think I'm actually really good at this, but I'm still buying 100 shares because I'm just not sure. And he said, it's time that you start swinging with a bigger bat. And that stuck with me. And so that's kind of what I do. When I have a period where things are doing really well, I'll start swinging with a bigger bat and I'll make, instead of 1,000 shares, I'll get 2,000. Stuff like that, which increases your profits as well, potentially, right? Because you might be getting out of trades earlier than you normally would because maybe you're a little nervous because you've got double the amount of money tied up in something. Stuff like that. And the last thing I do is I take my profits. Actually, the very first thing I do with my profits as a swing trader is I pay all my bills. Outside of that, though, in just investing, I'll reinvest into larger and larger positions for my swing trades, or I take that money and I put them into investments. Because I think a lot of people misunderstand or they go on Instagram and they see a guy with a handful of money and a Lamborghini, and he says, I'm a day trader. And they're like, oh, I want to be a day trader because I want a Rolex and I want an Omega and I want all these nice things. That's not where the money is made. Unless you're trading with a lot of money, that's not where your money is made. Your money is made as a long-term investor. I day trade and swing trade to pay my bills so I don't have to go outside and work a real job. But I also take that money. Someone in here asked me earlier how old I want to be when I retire. I just turned 36 yesterday. So I take that money and I put it into my investments. And I build larger and larger positions with anything left over. And I've already got my rainy day fund. So if you don't have a rainy day fund, you need to have one. But once your rainy day fund is set up and it's stashed aside, I just take everything and I just start adding to my investments, whether it's 100 shares a year or 20 shares a month or whatever. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. What indicators do you use? LG NYC. I use Bollinger Bands, Relative Strength Index, good old-fashioned volume. Occasionally, I'll do something like a descending wedge, which I haven't done any videos on, so geez, I've got to write that down on my notes too. Wedge videos. Also, Alex, BLK. I don't know how to pronounce your username. You asked me to do a video on something with relative strength. I can't remember what it is now, and I'm working on it. SAG, my goal is to be 60 in a park playing chess, checkers, dominoes, or spades. Now that's gaming. Yeah. I haven't heard about how you use ask and bid. Usually I don't, because the stocks that I'm trading are very high volume stocks. So the ask and the bid, or the bid and the ask, I'm bidding when I want to buy a stock. I'm bidding when you want to sell something. You're asking. It's kind of like eBay. So you're asking $20. I'm bidding $19.99, and that's kind of how it goes. And then someone else will come on and say, no, I'll sell for $19.99. And I go, great, I'll buy your shares at $19.99. Now the guy at 20, he's still got his price at 20. Now someone else goes, fuck it, I want the stock, I'll pay 20. So there's all the time that these orders are coming through. Usually with very high volume stocks, the bid and the ask is neck and neck. $19.99, 20, $20.01. They're neck and neck. When there are very low volume stocks, this is something you need to pay attention to. and this is especially true after hours. With after hours trading, volume drops dramatically unless there's a breaking news story or earnings. Then after hours, the volume can be nuts. But usually what you'll see is the volume in these stocks after hours just slows down incredibly. And you'll notice then that the bid and the ask are super far apart. It's called a spread. And you'll notice that the spread is like 17.50 for the bid and 23.75 for the ask, and or backwards or whatever. You'll notice that the spreads are all over the map. And that makes it very hard for you to sell or buy. So there you go. I swung Tesla for a wee bit. Yeah, you can swing trade. The thing that I like, someone asked me the other day, do you day trade these large cap stocks? You can't really day trade McDonald's or Starbucks, for example, because what are they going to do? They're going to go up like 75 cents or $1.50. But how many shares would you have to buy to make it worth your while? McDonald's is $200 a share. So 100 shares is going to cost you $20,000, give or take a little bit. And then, so what? It goes up $1. You make $100, but you've tied up $20,000. So large cap stocks as a day trade? No. Large cap stocks as a swing trade? I like that because you can plot out your support and resistance lines. Again, if you're new to this video, just go on my YouTube channel, watch all the videos on support and resistance lines under the technical analysis walkthrough videos that I've done. You can get in at the relative bottom, the support line, and then you can swing trade it. Maybe it takes a couple days, maybe it takes 2 weeks, maybe it takes a month, but that stock might go up to its previous resistance, which was $14 difference. On 100 shares, that's $1,400. That's pretty substantial. Even on 25 shares, I can't do that kind of math in my head, but it's still several $100s. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you. My birthday was yesterday. I'm going to need another piece of paper. Yeah, this is my notes. Well, I still got the other side, which I can use. Thank you, Lily. My birthday was yesterday. What is this comment? Arco is the McDonald's of South America with a no-compete? Neat. But do they have a Big Mac? Kathy Wood praising Tesla at the time, and Elon tweeting it was a hot one. That's your... Those are your pumpamentals, man. That's what you've been talking about. What do I want for my birthday? Nothing. I'm a minimalist. I don't want stuff. I don't like stuff. What I want more than anything is a cabin in the woods. That's what I want. They're a little expensive at the moment, though, because of Airbnb and COVID kind of ruined my plans to get a cabin in West Virginia. Because when they shut down travel, and I live in Washington, D.C., where everyone is super freaking rich, everyone was like, you know what? If we can't travel, we should just get a weekend place. Where do they go? West Virginia, because it's beautiful and it's 2 hours away. And hey, what do you know? The cabins in West Virginia are like $80,000 a piece. When your house is $4 million down the street from me, $80,000 is peanuts. These people are buying 2 or 3 houses. And what are they doing with their 2 or 3 houses? They're keeping one for themselves and they're Airbnb-ing the other 2. So a lot of super wealthy people are coming out of COVID doing way better than everyone else because they're buying... Teebs, are you in the Eastern Panhandle? Where? Yeah, SAG, buy the location, build the dream later is exactly what I was thinking about doing because the land, even though the land has come up in price too, land is still relatively cheap in West Virginia. Teebs, I was looking at Berkeley Springs, which is like 2 hours from DC. Cabins, like I was talking about earlier, used to be $80,000 a couple years ago. Now they're like $300,000 or $400,000. But SAG, the land in West Virginia. So here's the thing about West Virginia, at least where I've been looking. Yes, across the river from Cumberland, which apparently Cumberland has like the largest population of Ku Klux Klan members at one point in history. We bought 700 square foot cabin, saved and built 5 years later. Cool. So what I've been looking at in terms of land. So this is how, and now that I know Teebs, you're kind of local. I'm gonna bug you. The land in West Virginia doesn't have electric hooked up, obviously, and it doesn't have plumbing. It has septic, and some of them don't even have septic. Some of the land has nothing. It's literally just land in the middle of the woods, which is great. But if you would like a toilet to flush and not one of those disgusting composting toilets where you have to carry your bucket of shit and dump it somewhere, I don't want to do that. Really? Berkeley Springs, 45 minutes from you? Dude, what? BLK, your grandma owns 200 acres in West Virginia? Yeah, so, okay, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Teebs. Maybe 5 years ago, my ex-girlfriend and I went to Berkeley Springs. Teebs, I don't know if you've been in this chat this whole time, but I was talking about the Berkeley Springs Lodge earlier in relation to electric vehicles. Now they have charging stations hooked up. And we went to, there are two antique stores in Berkeley Springs. One of them is in the main downtown area, and it's huge and it's amazing. And actually, if you've seen my poison collection, my poison bottle collection, I got them all at that gift shop or at that antique store. The other antique store is a little bit on the outskirts. It's called like Reds or something. It's got like a big Native American statue out front. And we walk in, and I mean, beautiful, like all this old furniture and stuff. We're looking around, and I'm looking at like this big sofa, and I hear my ex on the other side of the store. She's like, Kenneth, and I'm like, in a minute. I'm looking at this, and she's like, can you come over here? And I'm like, in a minute. And she's like, can you come over here? And I was like, shit. So I walk over, and I'm like, what is it? And there's a glass case of pocket knives, but they're all new. These aren't antique pocket knives. They're brand new. Like they have the made in China sticker, and they've got like the white little box that the knives go into, and they're all displayed, and they're brand new knives, and they all have swastikas on them. And I looked at my ex, and she looked at me, and I was like, I think it might be time to leave because I am Jewish, and I don't really want to beat up some old guy Nazi. And we're walking out of the store, and the guy who's sitting behind the counter is like reading a book, and he's got like a pipe in his mouth, and he looks up at us, and he's like, have a good day. And we're like, see you later. And we like got the fuck out of there. And we drove to, since you are familiar, there's a brewery, like the Berkeley Springs Brewery, and they had this like mint, like thin mint beer or whatever that was really good. Even though I don't drink, but like I tried a little of it. And we're sitting there, and the server comes over, and she's chatting with us. And I was like, can I ask you a question? And she's like, yeah, sure, what's up? And I was like, we were just at this antique store. And she goes, oh boy. And I was like, what's up with all these, what's up with all those pocket knives with the swastikas on there? It's in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. And she goes, well, I just moved here because she was in the military. So that's where they had chosen to like retire to or whatever, since she's no longer active duty. And she was like, so I just moved here, so I'm not the one to ask, but hold on. I'm going to go ask the owner who's sitting on the clear other side of the dining room. So she walks over to the owner, and she's like whispering, and then she points to us, and he like looks over at us, and we look at him, and we're like, hello. And he just starts going like this, and he whispers something to her, and she comes back over to us, and she goes, okay, so apparently Cumberland, Maryland is on the very opposite side of the Potomac, and that antique store is also like closer to Cumberland, Maryland than any other major like small town. And Cumberland at one point in time had the largest population, like almost basically everyone in the town was in the Ku Klux Klan and the KKK. Everyone in this town was in the KKK. And I don't know if they still are, but the houses in Cumberland, Maryland, if you go on Zillow and just type in Cumberland, Maryland, you can get like a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a garage for like $30,000. Like nobody lives there. And the bartender was like, they've got like that antique store basically knows their demographic. They know who they're selling to. Neo-Nazis. Yes, what a location. So I want to not live... Well, I don't want to live in Cumberland, but I want to live in Berkeley Springs part-time. I want like a weekend house. Someone asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I want a cabin in the woods. I live in D.C. Berkeley Springs is around 2 hours from here. And now that I know, Teebs, that you live there, next time I come out, I'm going to make you come with me. I don't want to live here, but I love Berkeley Springs. The town is cute, and it's 2 hours from DC, so it's close enough that I can go on the weekends. The fact they were in business definitely tells you something. Yeah, and they weren't, like, I wouldn't have minded so much if they were, like, antique knives with swastikas on them, right? Like, oh yeah, Cumberland. I don't want to live in Cumberland. No, thank you. If they were antique knives with swastikas on them, I probably wouldn't have like run out of the antique store. I probably would have been like, cool, whatever. Like, my uncle or my great uncle killed a Nazi in World War II and pulled off his swastika thing and gave it to me. It's here somewhere. So like I have a patch like with a swastika on it, but only because my great uncle killed a Nazi and then gave it to me. Hey, thank you, Fluent in Finance, for the birthday wishes. We're talking about Nazis. We're not really talking about Nazis. I've been talking about how someone asked what I wanted for my birthday, and I said I want a cabin in the woods. And Berkeley Springs, West Virginia happens to be kind of nearby. So that is where I would like to get a weekend home. But SAG, I don't know if you're still in here. Controversy sells. My latest plan was to buy some land and then have... Berkeley Springs is quaint. It's a nice little town. Thank you, Buzzkill, for the birthday wishes. My plan is to buy some land, put in water, put in like electric, or put in septic or whatever I have to put in, and then get like a really cool old school camper, leave that there, and then over time build something when I can afford to. That's my plan. But I don't know where you live, Teebs. I'm not going to make you drive to Berkeley Springs. Yeah. Georgia's beautiful, but it's far away. SAG, I am the opposite of handy, which is unfortunate, because if I knew a thing or two, I would definitely do my own work, but I could change a light bulb. Kind of about it. I live in a small town, Short Gap. I don't know it. It's going on the list. I'll look it up. I know it's a little further away than where I want to go, but I'm going to look it up. Also, I like that the national or the state food of West Virginia is just like the pepperoni roll. I like that because I like food. All right, anybody got stock questions? Or are we still going to talk about cabins in West Virginia? Whoa. You just got a stoplight. Is that where you're always from? Or is that where you were born in West Virginia? We'll teach you on TikTok. Trade you for stock videos. Yeah. Let's do it. Show me how to fix some stuff. Buzzkill, there's always going to be a dip in the markets at some point. You know, it's like that Jay-Z lyric, like a broken clock is right at least 2 times a day, right? There's always going to be a market sell-off. There's always going to be a correction. There's always going to be a dip. Man, everyone's asking about NIO tonight. The 13th Elias. I guess I should just repeat what I said earlier. I don't know about NIO. There's a lot of electric vehicle companies right now. What I've said earlier when people have asked, because I've been talking about NIO a lot all night. I take these lives, I put them on YouTube. So go back, watch through, find the part where I talk about NIO and electric vehicles. You never know which one's going to be the one that stays, right? Tesla is the mainstay in terms of like only electric vehicles, but then you've got Ford, you've got all these new SPAC stocks like CCIV, Lucid, whatever, Workhorse, which is like the trucks. Tech has been climbing. The last few days it has. Tech was already extremely overvalued. They were trading at like really high multiples. I think Tech was looking for a reason. Stinky toenails, bro, seriously what? Okay, huge question, but I'm going to answer the other one first. Tech has been climbing. The Ford electric vehicles truck F-150 Lightning is pretty sweet and can power the whole house for 3 days. The thing about Tech is it was overvalued. The news media, the hedge funds, they were looking for a reason to bring Tech down. So it becomes more, it has a more realistic valuation. It's not trading at 1,000 times. Like Tesla's price to earnings ratio was like 1,200. Now it's 600. Still very high, but it's significantly lower than what it was. What these hedge funds do is they bring stocks down. They cut their price target. They change their their buy to a sell, or from a hold to a sell, or from a buy to a hold, right? Which buy to hold is also kind of bearish. So these funds bring the stocks down. They pump up on the news. Get out of the stock. This sector's tanking. Oh no. Everyone freaks out. The little guys are the ones that always get hurt the most. They dump their shares too. And then what happens? The hedge fund comes out a month later and they go, or several months later, and they go, hey, we love the stock now. Yeah, now after you killed it, after you brought it down from 30 to 15, of course, now it's a great valuation and you love it. And then they get in at 15 and it flies back up. TR. Oh man, I was talking about Tech this whole time and it was the wrong question. TRCH and MetaMetal merger? I don't know. Going on the list though. TRCH and Meta merger. Oh, MetaMetal merger. Question mark? Buzzkill 1024. Buzzkill 1024 from Florida, right? I'll follow up. Sticky toenails, man. That's one username. Woof. GM32, my favorite indicators are Bollinger Bands, relative strength, and volume. MACD is my least favorite. And I also have YouTube videos, tutorials on how to set them up and read them and interpret them under my technical analysis playlist. All right, Stinky Toenails. Let me find your question here. I've never known anyone who can answer this, says you. I like the company seems to be going under according to its price. What company? A Workhorse. Yakland. I straight up learned everything I know from your YouTube videos. No shit. Thank you. Buzzkill, I will. Workhorse. I bought it a while ago. I bought it while it was going up. I still believe, but it's tanked. You think it's going back up. There it is. You think it's going back up? I don't know. See? You said no one could answer the question. Me either, because I'm not a psychic. I don't know. Nobody knows. You know, I bought the other day, I bought something the other day and everyone was like, why would you buy it at this price? Because all the hedge funds are talking about buying it. Sometimes that's good enough reason. When the hedge funds are buying it, whether it's fundamentally strong or the technical analysis was good, doesn't matter. If the hedge funds are coming in and they're buying millions and millions of dollars worth, they're all going to collectively do it and drive up the price. But you don't know they're going to do that. They'll also, conversely, drive down a price and short it and push the stock lower and lower and lower and lower until it gets to a valuation that they like. Then they come in and they go, wow, what a bargain. Let's all buy the stock now at this much lower price. So I don't know. Literally, Stinky Toenails, it's just a guess. Is Workhorse going to come back? Yes. And then if it does, what are you going to say? Wow, that guy's a genius. But if I say no, and then it goes through the roof, you're going to be like, that guy's a moron. Or if I say, yeah, it's going to go up, and then it doesn't. I'm just guessing. I don't know. And I don't think anyone knows. Now, you can look at their you can look at their fundamentals. The problem is that they're a relatively new company, so they might not have fundamentals really. If it's a company you believe in, you can take the realized loss and you can sell it, or you can average down. Usually what people do when they average down on something is they buy more at a much lower price to really bring their cost average significantly lower, if that's something you want to do. Yeah, see, LGNYC, we had the same thought. We're saying the same thing at the same time. So if, let's say you have 10 shares of Workhorse. I don't know the stock price, but let's just say you have 10 shares. And it drops 20 or 30%. Don't buy another 10, buy 15 or buy 20, right? So you're bringing your cost basis really, really low. Only if this is a company that you really believe in and you've done your homework on, not some random penny stock. The last thing you want to do is chase these penny stocks as they're going lower and lower, just constantly averaging in every step of the way until before you know it, that thing is down 80% and there's no chance of it coming back. LGNYC, see, you like his username? His username is creepy. Unless it's from something that I don't get the reference. No disrespect. Also, sticky toenails, if you think that the stock could go down significantly and your loss is very small right now, it's perfectly fine to cut your losses, get out, preserve the majority of your capital, and wait for that stock to really sell off. Especially if you've looked at support and resistance lines over, say, a 3-month chart or 180-day chart. You really plot out your support and resistance lines and see where this stock has been previously, so you have an idea of where it could potentially get to. That's one option. No, you don't want to end up with a wash sale. You'd have to wait 30 days. But if you think it's heading lower over a prolonged period of time, then you sell now and you wait 30 days. If you think there's an impending sell-off, then you just wait. So you're not hit with a wash sale. I would dollar cost average so it hits your average sooner if you believe in it long time. Yeah, that's pretty much the consensus. APPL, what's the name of that company? Because I don't know the symbol, but I might know the company. And don't worry if you're a noob, hit up my YouTube channel and click on my Linktree and buy the books that I recommend. It'll send you to Amazon. There's only 2 books and they're both worth reading. Oh, Apple? Do I think Apple will be the next General Electric? You mean, do you mean Apple's going to be the next GE in terms of being this giant company that ends up going to shit? I certainly don't think so. Thank you. If you mean, will Apple be the must-have stock that everyone needs to own? I think it's already there. Oh, yes. No, I don't think Apple's going to end up like General Electric, being like the greatest stock ever. Look, 20 years ago or even longer, you had to own GE. It had to be in your portfolio. GE was like the monster, the greatest. It was the biggest. The problem with GE was they got too big and too over-diversified as a company. We were talking about this earlier with Ford, where Ford streamlined all their cars down to just a few. It's trucks, it's SUVs, it's the Mustang, and the new Bronco that's coming out, and some electric stuff. But Ford used to have like 30 or 40 vehicles, too much. GE had the same problem. They had banking, they had household, they had household products, they had household like beauty products like soap and shampoo, but they also had ovens and dishwashers and microwaves and cars and industrial and airplanes and banking. Come on. It was ridiculous. And the problem with GE was that they were so big that it was really hard to move that stock. They would have good earnings and the stock wouldn't go anywhere, which is kind of, to be fair to your comparison, what we're seeing with Apple now. Blowout quarter after blowout quarter, but it's really hard to move the needle on Apple because they have 16 or maybe 18 billion shares outstanding. That's a lot of shares. And it's very, very hard to move a stock with that many shares. What Apple's doing is they're doing buybacks, though. I think they announced like a $90 billion buyback, which is going to decrease their shares outstanding significantly. I can't do that kind of math in my head. I'm sure someone's done it somewhere to say how many shares will be, shares outstanding there will be after they do their buyback. But that's good for Apple. The fewer shares that they have on the market, the easier it is to move. XRP is not dead. There, I said it. I don't really know though. But I don't know. They're in a pretty big lawsuit though. That could be potentially bad news short term. When is a good timeline for airlines post-COVID? You've been holding on? I'd keep holding. Look, travel is only going to get better at this point, right? I don't think it's going to get worse unless we have a real global, like what we're seeing in India right now. If we see another big surge in overseas cases, it could be a while. But I wouldn't worry about it. Thoughts on Burry's short on Tesla? I think he's probably been short a while. So he's probably up already an unbelievable sum of money. $530 million that he went short on Tesla. I don't know exactly when he went short, but if you've been looking at Tesla, it's been coming down significantly. He might not even be short as much anymore. He might have liquidated half his position or a quarter of it or something. They don't always keep you apprised on every single trade they make. Usually you find out months later, oh yeah, that trade. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're required to. If they're government employees, they have to keep you apprised of every trade they make, buying and selling. But with someone like Michael Burry, who knows? I mean, he might have already exited the position. I don't keep tabs. But I bet you at a certain point, he's going to change his tune and he's going to start buying Tesla. Because, hey, how could you not? The valuation got cut in half. Yeah, he is smart. No thoughts on CTRM because I don't know it. Sticky Toenails, good night. I'm sure you're gone already. Sammy Amore, people who got Coinbase IPO got wrecked. Yep. Will hedge funds start selling based on his decision? Oh, that's your follow-up, LG? I think they probably already have. I think by the time we hear this story, right, it's been circulating on social media over the last couple of days. Michael Burry, oh my God. I think it's already happened. I think he went short. I think the hedge funds went short. I think the hedge funds sold. They all know the news before we get it. By the time you and I are hearing about it, it's already old news, kind of. What time is it? I'm trying to keep these live. They usually end up going like 2 hours. Shorting Tesla is a mugs game. Yeah, I don't think so. Because I think he's already done it. And if you followed Tesla, it was $700 and now it's $500. So whoever was shorting it at $700 has already made probably a lot of money. Now we're all hearing about it. Oh, this guy who went short Tesla, he might already be out of that trade. He might be accumulating shares now while all the retail traders are freaking out and selling. Do you have a Bloomberg terminal? No, I don't. Would I get one? No. I don't know really what that is. BLK, when you use relative strength, how do you know which relative strength? Different timelines have different relative strengths. I use all the preset ones. Bloomberg is $30K a year? What? I just use the preset relative strengths. I haven't noticed any difference. I'm not going to go in and tinker with the preset, time periods on those. They do change though, from the daily to the 3 weeks or the 1 month. They're all going to be different because they're looking at longer periods of time. Really? It's a trading terminal that's basically a landline to Wall Street? Cool. Yakland, thank you. Have a good night. You get the news as soon as it comes out, but it costs $30,000. Kurt, tech stocks may still go down. They might. Is it tech stocks? Yeah, they might go down a little bit more. I mean, we have to see what's going to happen with the economy and with interest rates and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think the interest rates are nearly as scary as everyone says it is. I think the news, CNBC, they just want to put it out there. They're a fear network, right? User Ghostbox Stories, I don't know if you guys follow him. He called CNBC a fear network recently. I kind of like that because it's true. They always are worst case because it's ratings, man. They're not a stock channel. They're ratings. They're a television show. They got to get you watching. If they come out and say, "Oh, people are just taking," oh no, I dropped my pen. That's how I take my notes. Got it. If they say, "Oh, people are just taking profits, don't worry about it," no one's gonna watch the news. But if they say, "You guys, it's inflation. It's Joe Biden. It's inflation. Oh my god, inflation happens all the time." Markets correct every couple of years. It's just fear to get people panicking to make decisions. So yeah, tech might still go down a little bit, but if it's something you believe in and your dollar cost averaging $100 a month, doesn't really matter. And if you're a long-term investor, 316, hell yeah. If you're a long-term investor, doesn't matter. It's just an opportunity for you to add to your position. And you're not going to remember 20 years from now whether you bought that stock at $200 a share or $175. You're just going to know that you had it back then and now it's $1,000 a share or whatever, whatever made-up company we're talking about. That's really, people get so caught up on the long-term investments on getting the right price and stuff, which is fine in the moment, but 20 years out, you're not going to sit there going, "Oh, I bought Facebook when it was 40, and if I just waited 3 weeks, I could have bought it at 37. Doesn't matter, Soup Bean Twitch. Austin 316. Kurt, your thoughts on institutions that are now buying crypto? I think, why wouldn't they? It's gotten hammered, which is kind of probably what they wanted. They probably wanted the prices to come down considerably so they can start buying in. I think it's a good thing. And I've been buying personally on the crypto dip. Only a little bit though. Wow, everyone just left this chat. I had like 30 people in here. Now it's 12? Come on. Does overvalued stock price reduce the chance for a company to be bought out or be able to merge? Yes. Because a company wants the best deal they can get. So if it's overvalued, they're not gonna over. It's like buying something on eBay. That's it's a $200 item, but it's selling for $500 because there's a lot of hype. You're not gonna buy it when it's $500. You're gonna wait for that hype to come down, and you're gonna buy it at a lower price later. So if you're trying to merge or buy out a competitor and it's very overvalued, you're not gonna get ripped off. You might even have your hedge fund buddies get on to the press, like that old Jim Cramer interview from 15 or 20 years ago, get on to the press and say, hey, we heard a bad rumor from this company, and crash the stock that you want to buy because you want to. Wall Street people are pretty shady. They're pretty shady. Hey, dog lady, they're pretty shady on Wall Street. They're gonna get on the phone and say, push that stock down because we don't want to pay $70 a share. We want to pay $50. Drop the stock. Make up a rumor. Make up a scandal. Who cares? Come up with something bad. Boom, it drops. Do I use 13F filings to see what institutions are buying? Yeah, sometimes. And there's also other SEC websites where you can see what politicians are buying and stuff like that. I look at those occasionally. There was one I wanted to answer, but I lost it. LGNYC. I still think bit more. I think Bitcoin has more room to dip around 20,000, maybe. Bitcoin. So here's the thing with Bitcoin. And here's the thing with this crypto winter that everyone was talking about. Oh, crypto winter, it's coming in a couple months. It's coming in a couple months. If I'm a whale, as they call it, if I'm a whale or an institution or just a really, really rich guy who has a lot of cryptocurrency and everyone is talking about a sell-off is coming, I'm not going to wait 3 months and get caught with my pants down. I'm going to sell now. I'm going to lock in my gains now. Yeah, crypto winter is coming in 3 months, so they say. It's going to be September. No, maybe August. No, maybe sooner. If they're all talking about a sell-off is coming, it means maybe they have a little bit more upside potential. Maybe. But that becomes gambling at a certain point. You're just kind of rolling the dice. When is that crypto winter coming? I'm locking in my gains now. That's probably what they're thinking. And when they dump, it tanked, right? You know, it's not you and me selling our 0.3% or 0.3 of Bitcoin, 0.03 or whatever. It's not us who are moving Bitcoin. It's the whales, it's the big investors, the institutions, the hedge funds, the millionaires and billionaires. That's my Bernie impression. It's those guys who are bringing the cost down. So if everyone's hearing crypto winter is coming, what are they going to do? They're going to dump, and then they're going to wait for the panic to kick in, and then they're going to get back in at a much lower price. And for the same reason, I don't think it's going to get to 20. Because everyone's expecting, now the new rumors are it's going to get to 20,000. It's going to get to 20,000. It might. It very well could. But I think what's going to happen is everyone's expecting it to get to 20. So people are going to start buying. They're not going to let it get to 20. They're not going to let it get to 20 because they want to get in ahead of time, because what if it doesn't? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Is there going to be a stock market crash in September? I don't know. Get a magic 8-ball. If there is, I'm going to be at the ready, and I'm going to have money sitting there to buy if there is a stock market sell-off. Yes, I've heard those rumors about the Chinese billionaires were the reason for the flash crash. I've heard that. I also have heard that it was like some personal vendetta against some other rich guy. If you ever saw Wall Street, the movie, you know, they did the same thing. They would beef with each other. Oh, this guy bought that company, short it. They just don't like each other. Dog lady, you're ready. I am also ready. And if you're not ready, you should have a wish list. This is something I just talked about in the video that I posted earlier. You should have a wish list of cryptocurrency, of stocks, of ETFs, of whatever investments you want at the ready. So when the sell-off does happen, whether it's in September or it's in 3 years or whenever, you're ready. You're not scrambling trying to find a stock to buy. Oh, I got to find a good investment. Oh, because you don't know how long that sell-off is going to be. When, not last March, like 2 months ago, but last March last year, I thought we were just at the very beginning of what was going to be a prolonged sell-off. I wasn't expecting it to be 3 weeks. So I didn't do any buying in March because I thought, here we go. Something's happening with this virus, and we're going to see prolonged market sell-off. We didn't see that at all. So, sorry, bud, gotta go, but you're awesome. You're awesome. See you later. Jay Beto, what's up? JC, you like energy stocks with the crude rising? I like energy stocks. Hey, Traded Blondie. Too bad you weren't in here earlier. Some people were asking about options. I have no thoughts on Run, because I am not familiar with it. But if you want to comment on one of my earlier videos on TikTok and just ask, I'll follow up. What do you think the next sector rotation? I don't know. I don't know what the next sector rotation could be. Thoughts on DeFi 100 scamming their investors? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know about it. I would ask that question to Wendy O. Sorry, it said that there were a bunch of new questions, but it takes a while to load. If Bitcoin does drop to 20,000, will it be a flash crash, and will retail investors be left out? Potentially. And so here's the thing with this. You can set alerts, right? I've got alerts set at every price point for Bitcoin and all those other cryptos that I'm watching. Um, set alerts, set buy orders, set an order to say, buy me. And, look, the thing is, what we were talking about earlier is you can't be too literal with these stocks. You can't say, oh, everyone's talking about it's going to get to 20,000. I'm going to put in an order at 20,000. It might not get to 20,000. It might get to 27,000. It might get to 25,350. It might not get to your exact price. So that's why you can set buy orders, but it might not get to that target price. It's why it's so important to pay attention and watch. You just have to be paying attention. The downside to crypto, which I'm learning about since I'm new to crypto, is it's 24/7. So, you're checking it all the time, which can drive you nuts, and you can also miss out on opportunities, right? You look and you go, oh man, it was at, like last week Ethereum hit like 1950, but I wasn't looking in that period of time when it happened. So now I know, and I've set alerts, which you can do on crypto.com. I'm sure you can do them on others, but I have crypto.com and I have their app, and you can set alerts very easily. Up in the top center of your screen, there's like a little bell, and you just hit it and it lets you set alerts. VeChain, yeah. Yeah, retail might be left out because all the platforms don't even let you buy. And by the way, let's talk about some of these platforms too. A lot of them can't handle this huge volume of retail traders rushing in, and a lot of them are crashing at the most opportune buying times, or for selling and locking in your gains before a crash comes. They crash. We've seen it with Coinbase a lot. We've seen it with Robinhood. I've never used Robinhood in my life, and obviously I have no reason to. I use TD Ameritrade, so I have no reason to ever switch to Robinhood. But Robinhood crashes at the worst possible time. People are all going in to sell something, and what do you know? Robinhood's down. You can't sell. I don't know HNT. I'm not familiar with it. Do you read Seeking Alpha? Yes, I do. Is GBTC good for crypto? I don't know. I'm not really the big crypto guy. I would say send all your questions to Wendio or Google, and read what you can. But yes, I do read Seeking Alpha occasionally. I don't really read a lot of stock news, which I know sounds weird since I'm a stock trader. But I live in a bubble. At Dog Lady, probably because you've seen all my videos. I live in a trading bubble. I've got my 5 to 10 stocks that I trade consistently, and that's kind of just what I do. I don't usually pay attention to the news. I know a lot of traders have CNBC on all day in the background. I don't always do that. Sometimes I will if there's an earnings report that I want to hear or some specific news. Trading Blondie. Trade Blondie. You almost need to say, every Wednesday at noon, I'm buying $25 worth of this and be super mechanical. Yes, I agree. And also Trade Blondie, we're going to go live one day, but I'm almost done. It's like bedtime for me, so we'll do it another time, but I know you talked. Lord Ack. I'm not even going to say your name. I'm just going to call you Lord, like Scott Disick. I don't reveal the trades that I make because I don't want people copying just because I mentioned it. Because it's good for me doesn't mean it's good for you. If I mention a stock and you go out and buy it, you don't necessarily know when I'm getting in or when I'm getting out. And a lot of these stocks that I buy are penny stocks. I know a lot of traders say they stay away from penny stocks because they're trash and they're volatile and all that crap. I do trade penny stocks. They are, hey, Dad Bob, I recognize your username. A lot of the stocks that I trade are crap. They're garbage. And I don't want you, I don't know you personally, but I don't want you, the general, uneducated traders or new traders, not necessarily you, but just anyone who's new to trading going, oh, he bought such and such, I'm going to go buy it now. Well, I might have already gotten in and out of the trade by the time you saw that TikTok. Now you're left sitting there going, do I keep it? Do I sell it? What do I do? What do I do? So what I would rather is teach you how to trade instead of just telling you what I trade. But since you asked, I will grant you all with one. Funko. Funko, I swing trade. So there you go. There's one. Ryan J. That's how I read your username. How long have you been day trading or swing trading, and how many years of experience? I think that's both the same question. 11 years. And also I missed Trade Blondie's. She commented and I missed it. Yeah. Trade Blondie. I agree about the not needing the news to be on. The news is already priced in. Yes. Yeah, Dog Lady, you invest in $18 to $22 stocks. I do too. It just happens that the majority of the stuff that I trade is usually under $10 and really under $5. But I do trade Funko, which has been on a tear lately. So it's just something you want to look at. Don't just go out and buy it because I mentioned it. Look at the support, look at the resistance, plot it out on your software. I use TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. Whatever you use, plot it out on that. And track the support and the resistance lines so you know an entry point potentially and you know an exit point potentially. But I wanted to read Ryan's. How long have you been day trading or swing trading? 11 years total. Swing trading for the first 8 or so years, day trading for the last couple, and maybe potentially back into swing trading now that markets hopefully are kind of becoming less volatile now that COVID is sort of behind us. You have 1 million DPLS? Wow. Oh, you do the real penny stocks. Ryan J. When you were first trading, was it difficult? Over time, did you get better and learn from the mistakes? Yes. I can't stress this enough. You learn more from your mistakes than you do from your wins. All the time. One of the things I used to do was I would keep a notebook, and every time I had a stock gone wrong, or I had to take a loss, or I didn't take a loss, and it dumped really hard, and I ended up holding the bag, I would take notes. Here's what I did. Here's what I didn't do. Here's what I should have done. And maybe here's what I'll do next time as well. So I always learned from my mistakes. The problem for when I started trading was I started trading 11 years ago. I mentioned this earlier on in the live, so if you're just watching, I go by presidents just for reference point, not for any other reason. I started trading in Obama's second term. So markets on his first term were amazing. The second term, they started to slow down, but they were still really, really, really great. And that's when I started swing trading, which is great. When you have a consistent bull run where the markets are just pretty much going up, swing trading is great. And that's what I did. And so I thought I was like this greatest stock trader ever. It wasn't anything that I was doing necessarily. It was just that the markets were doing really, really well. So it's easy to think you're a good trader, and it's easy to be a good trader when there's a consistent bull run. When the markets are slowing down, that's when you really got to test your skills. So when there's a choppy market like what we've seen over the last 4 years, that's when you know whether you're a good trader or you're a bad trader. On a bull run, everyone's a good trader because the markets are just going up in general. It's pretty hard to pick a loser stock in a bull market. But I would say, Trade Blondie, amazing advice, journal and take notes on all the trades, and you still do. Yeah, take notes. You can take notes on what went well also because you're trying to make, consistent trades in the future. You don't only want to take notes on your trades gone wrong. You want to take notes on the good trades as well because something went right and you want to learn from it. And also, when you make a trade, hop on, look at the chart, maybe even take a screenshot of the chart. If you take notes on Microsoft Word or whatever, put that screenshot in and type out, I sold because of this, I bought because of that, here was my stop loss. Whatever went well or whatever went right for you, put that in your notes. Because you're going to want to refer to your notes when you're trying to learn. One of the best ways you can learn is to reread your notes and see what went right, see what See what went right and see what went wrong. And when you do that, you'll learn way more from your mistakes. Way more from your mistakes. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Oops. Good. It sucks that you lost. It sucks that you made a bad trade. Maybe it sucks that you lost money. But that's a learning experience. And if you take that learning experience and apply it going forward, it's almost kind of worth the loss, right? A lot of new traders say that whenever they take a big loss, it's just paying their tuition to Wall Street University. I don't know if you've heard people say that. But it's like paying your tuition. All right, you lost. Maybe you lost 8%. Maybe you lost $300. Maybe you lost $1,000. It sucks. What can you learn from it? Because if you don't learn from it, then trading is not going to be for you. And you're just going to be that guy who trades, loses, and then throws your hands up into the air and goes, trading's not for me. Or worse, investing's not for me. Because we all know trading and investing are two very different things. Camo can't see me. That's my John Cena. I can't see you. There's a comment. There's a comment missing in here. Do you sell puts on stocks you want to acquire or buy at limit? I don't do puts, but I see that Trade Blondie interacted with you, so you should go follow her. She's the options. She's the options person on here, and Options Trading Daily as well, who I think was in this live a minute ago, but I don't know if he still is. No, I don't do puts, because I don't really trade options a lot. And usually I buy market orders, which just means that I pay whatever the price is at the moment. Sometimes I'll do a limit order if I'm not going to be at my computer. And I just want to buy it at 527. Here we go. Camo, I don't tell people what to do because I'm not a licensed financial advisor or broker. 23 days left on a Square call. Should you close or wait? That's your call. Maybe Trade Blondie, if she's still in here, has some insights. But the last thing I want to do is say you should sell it, and then it goes up. Then you're going to be pissed at me. Or hold it, and then it tanks, and you end up losing 100% of your money. You know what I mean? No chill, you were waiting for the John Cena reference. You got one. Zillow. I don't trade Ford, but I am invested in it heavily. Oh, Camo, you're the one who has the same cars as me. Now I recognize you. That's the twinsies you were talking about. I thought you were talking about the Camo. Yeah, I have my 2015 Dodge Challenger, and I have a 1985 Ford Bronco, which is the same age as me. And my birthday was yesterday too. So now the Bronco and I really are the same age. DJ, love your videos. Thank you. I don't know. Sash. I don't know. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Ryan. J. I don't know if Workhorse or Ride will ever come back. I assume that they will at some point, just because that's the nature of stocks, right? They sell off, they come back, they have rallies. But what Trade Blondie and I were just talking about in the comments was learn from your mistakes if they don't. What would your mistakes have been? Maybe that you didn't cut your losses soon enough, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up on some of these comments. Dog Lady, you sold your Ford? Katya, thank you for the birthday wishes. Dog Lady, I also missed that Ford dividend. It'll come back. Medic. Thoughts on Coin and Tesla? Will they make a new all-time high? This year, coin, I don't think so. Medic, thank you for the birthday wishes. So I don't think coin will hit an all-time high this year because their all-time high was like 400 and something when they IPO'd or when they went public. Medic, thank you for the roses. They're birthday flowers. So I don't think so. I think that would mean coin has a really far way to go, right? They almost have to double in price to get to their previous all-time high. I don't think it will happen. Of course, it could if they had like a blowout quarter, or if they made some humongous announcement, or if they partnered with some huge. There's a lot of things that could happen that we just can't see. So, when you say will they hit all-time highs? Your guess is as good as mine, but that's really all it is a guess. Tesla, I don't think Tesla will hit an all-time high either, because we're going on split adjusted, which would put them at around, I think 700 is what they split at, and they're 5 something now. The thing about Tesla is Tesla has unbelievable moves to the upside when things are good, right? It's $500 and the next day it's 700, or over the period of several days. So it's possible that a stock like Tesla or coin could have some blowout amazing news, but I just don't think so. Ro G, are you investing in electric vehicles? Yes. Man, it said a lot of comments just popped up, but I don't see them. So give me 1 second for these comments to load. Wow. Medic, you sent me 32 roses. Ryan ... J, you just joined. User 714, is it wise to buy an IPO like coin? Isn't it better to let it base? I don't know what base means, if that's a typo, but no, it's not wise. I mean, if you saw what happened with Coinbase, it was pure hype. It was supposed to go public at 250. The day before the IPO or the direct listing, it was like 280. And that morning it was 290, and then it was 310 and 350. They kept raising the price of the stock. Eventually, the retail investors are the one who gets hurt because they're missing the opportunity to buy it at 250, and then they're FOMOing in at 350 or 380 or whatever. They get in, it rallies unbelievable. If you're day trading the IPO, it still is super, super, super risky. I don't do it. But if you did happen to get in at the IPO price and then sell at the all-time high that same day, then you can make some money. Otherwise, let it consolidate, let it sell off. Coinbase doesn't have a lockup because they didn't do a traditional IPO. Lockup is 6 months out, or usually 6 to 9 months. So when lockup expires, all the hedge funds, the underwriters who took the stock public, they sell their shares. Coinbase doesn't have this problem. So you don't have to worry about a lockup expiration, but there's just a lot going on when a company goes public. I will get into coin at 175. Is that wishful thinking? It might be, because crypto has sold off really hard on all this news from China and all that other stuff. The windup is tight. Yeah, so it might be wishful thinking to think that it's going to get to 175, because all it's going to take is a little bit of good crypto news from China or from something to just that stock to the moon. And it'll leave a lot of people. Yeah, Medic and I are in agreement. So what I've been doing with Coinbase is I've been averaging in kind of slowly. I think if Dog Lady is still in here, she remembers. I said if Coinbase gets to 250, I'm going to start buying. Luckily for me, it got a little lower. I think I got in around 240 or something, and then it dumped really hard. But you might say, are you upset that you bought Coinbase at 240 when it is now 217? And why didn't you just wait for it to get to 217? Nobody knows where it's going to go. So I start, right? You'll always hear me say this. I start buying. I start a position. I start accumulating. I don't go all in. I buy a little bit. So Coinbase got to my price target of 250. That's where I was going to start buying, and then it dropped even lower. That's when I started buying. Then, of course, stock traders' luck or investors' luck. The very next day, all the news came out about China, and then it really tanked. Coinbase dropped, I think, maybe to around 217, about a little more. That's how you have to do it. if you're just waiting for a price target of 175, you're probably going to miss, right? Maybe it gets to 190, right? I mean, I'm just making numbers up, but maybe it gets to 190. If your price target is 175 and it gets to 190, and that's as low as it gets, you're going to be like, fuck, right? The best thing you can do is just start scaling in gradually on the way down. Can you use options to hedge your coin position? Yeah, you can use options to do anything. For hedging. But I don't, but you could. Hold on, because there were a lot of good questions that I missed. Yeah, dividend getting cut for AT&T is concerning. Is it wise? Oh, I'm all caught up. Camo, can't see me. I don't know. Are you still in here? If I click on you, can I see if you're still in here? Nope. Camo, aside from stocks, anything you working on for your Bronco? Yes. That's my neck. Sorry if that creeps you out. Bronco. There's no air conditioning in the Bronco. Before I start talking about it, let me make sure you're still in here. Oh, you're still in here. Okay, so the Bronco needs air conditioning. It is 90 degrees in DC this week, and I wish I had air conditioning. I don't. It's that old R132 whatever, and there's a crack in the thing so the whole unit needs to be replaced. My mechanic said I could fix it, but the cost of fixing it and then refilling it with the old R12 or R whatever, it's just too expensive. So it's just cheaper to probably just replace the air conditioning with the modern new stuff. Yeah, you've got no air conditioning in yours. It's tough, and the side windows don't go down. The passenger window doesn't go down in the Bronco, so that needs to be replaced. What else? There's no radio. The radio doesn't work in the Bronco. I don't really need a radio. And also, I don't know how much of a car person you are, but the Bronco, my Bronco at least, has a 1-inch lift in the back for heavy towing. So when you hook something on, it comes down and it's not pressing down on the tire. So the rear side of the truck has a 1-inch lift for that reason. But I hate that because then the truck kind of slopes down. I want it to be like that. $25 radio on Amazon, but I think it's the wiring. I don't really know. I'd have to talk to someone about that. But if it's $25, I will definitely grab that. Oh, and the brake pads. The brake pads are squeaking really, really bad, so they need to be fixed. Gil, you lost $45K on what? What'd you lose $45K on? Oh my God. I'm waiting for you. Crypto. A radio harness is $10. You know, Jill, I'm assuming then if you lost 45,000 that you sold and took 45,000 in losses. If you didn't, it's just on paper. You haven't actually lost anything yet. They might potentially come back if you're in quality stuff. And if you're like in Dogecoin or whatever, it's maybe a little different. Maybe a little different story. But if you're in good quality investments or good quality, hey, Tessa. I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, it's not a loss until you sell. So, you're holding. So then you haven't taken a 45,000. You're just down 45,000, which is like a nightmare scenario. But if you're in good stuff, they might come back. And if they do come back, then it'll narrow your loss significantly. If depending on what your depending on what you're in, it might not come back fully, but at least it might narrow your loss a little bit. Who knows? Yeah. See, user 714, Apple's been a disappointment post-split. They blew out earnings, and they're still flat. The reason I think Apple is still flat, which I talked about a little earlier on in the live, is they're still flat because they have 16 billion shares on the market. And that's really hard to move a company that has 16 billion shares when you consider that other stocks have 100 million or several hundred million shares available, or less, right? Some stocks have 40 million shares available. Apple has 16 billion with a B. That's really hard, even on an unbelievable, yeah, it's too many splits. That's the problem. They just keep adding. So Apple is doing a $90 billion buyback, which should be great for lowering the shares outstanding. You made 200,000 with Ethereum? Nice. No Chill Penguin. When I don't want to see a red market, I just close my eyes. Don't think of it as a loss. Think of it as delayed profits. I like that. Well, everybody, it is like way past midnight. And there's a lot of people in here, so I feel bad for going. But I'll do more of these. I've been doing a lot of lives. Especially I feel bad for Tessa Mommy, who just joined. But I go live a lot. In fact, next week I'm going live with Iris. I can't remember her username, but I'm going live with Iris at some point, and I'm also going live with Kalechi on Thursday, I think. Kalechi and I sat down on his YouTube show, and it was a blast. We had like a ton of fun. You know, he was like, oh, I hope this is like 30, 40 minutes. And it ended up being like 2 hours, and it just flew by. Medic, hold on, let me read what you said. I came in late, been saving drunks and overdoses all over town. Yikes. Oh, your name is Kat. Hi, Kat. I'm Kenneth. Medic, I am sure that they are glad that you were there, Medic. Kat, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for buying my shirt. And let me see. Go to sleep, bro. All right, I will. Apple will blow up when they release the Apple car. Oh, Kevin. Hey, Kevin the Gray. Buy the crypto dip. Blockchain not going anywhere, says Kurt. I agree. I don't think it's going anywhere. Nobody dies or multiples on my watch. User, thank you for all of the insightful tips. You're welcome. You think LI Auto has a future? I don't know. I'm not familiar with LI Auto. But I have been talking a lot about electric vehicles earlier on in the live, so if you missed it, I'm going to put this live on YouTube. TikTok lately has not been letting me download my lives. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. So if this live doesn't end up, ever checked out Time? No, but someone else mentioned it. Someone else mentioned it to me. LI is a dud, says Medic. I don't know what LI is, but Medic knows his stuff. So I'm inclined to just listen to him. All right, everyone. I'm going to go to bed. Cat, it's an emotional trade, but the SM88 for me. What did I miss? Oh, Time. I'll write it down. I've got my whole list here of notes. Time. Satch, thank you. Dubai. Are you in Dubai? That would be really cool if you were in Dubai. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming. Have a good night. I do more of these lives all the time, so I'll catch you another time, and we can talk stocks else down the road. You are in Dubai? That's really cool. I have a friend whose daughter lives there. Cheers, Medic. Have a good night. Thanks for your help. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.